Welcome to my daily practice at Wendy Code Art. If you find this video interesting or helpful, please consider subscribing to my channel and liking the video.
Hi, my name is Wendy and I'm an artist. I've been an artist my whole life and I am excited to invite you into my studio and show you my art practice. I paint every day and I do acrylic on paper. I also do stencils. I draw. For me, art is about problem solving, so there's always little tricks and tools that I can share with you along the way. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today, I have my paintings started. I've got the squeegee marks, I've got the brush strokes, and on all panels of both sides. Let me just remind myself, yes, this side. And I just need to bask in the glow of, just the colors, the combinations. They really do feed me. They nourish me. They soothe me. They delight me. They entertain me. And I'm just not willing to give that up right away. So I will certainly keep painting, absolutely. And I don't know when I'll start. Well, by the next video. But I have other work to do in the studio, so I'm going to do some of that now. And some of that work is, well, first of all, I started a new series of the smaller paintings on the table. And I was just, cleaning my squeegee and my brush and laying down just a little, some watery paint, acrylic paint. And I always say you have to wait for the paint to dry to see how it's going to look. But I really like this background element with kind of the pastel, the very light colorations, and then some of the darker colors with the squeegee, and then the density of the paint. So I'm happy about that too. I'm happy about everything in the studio today. But I am going to be taking work that I finished. I finished this work, and I'm just going to take these paintings apart and see them individually, because I can't quite see them. I had them on the wall the other day and took a look at them, and I was like, yeah, I like these. These are great. So now I want to take them apart so I can just see them individually. And if you followed me, you know that I have a special way of doing that, which is folding and then just tearing the paper. It's pretty straightforward. Now I'm going to measure on the edge, the factory edge, I like to call it, and just make sure that it's going to be on the right line. I have a special tool. It's a butter knife, if I can find it. If not, I'll use my scissors. Don't know how it got so far down on the on the pile, my tools there. So just make a nice little fold there, and separate. So I have these 4, which are quite nice together. And I have these 4. I also like them together. Now, of course, this one's the wild card. That's the one I keep referring to it as the Edvard Munch style painting. Let's do this first. And again, the factory edge is the best one to make sure you've got it straight. I can't tell you how many times it's just been a little off, so it's not a rectangle. It's a, I don't know, trapezoid. What are those misshapen outside of the 90-degree corners? Ooh, and these are nice. I just like how they look as pairs. As there's 8, and then there's 4, and then there's pairs, and then boom, they're individuals. And you have to be careful. I mean, just seconds ago, I folded, made the crease more prominent with the soft side of the knife here. This nice fat spatula-like knife. I don't know where I got this. It's silver plate, I'm sure. It's quite nice. Just worn to perfection, all smooth. But you have to be careful with some things. Some things will make a dark mark. So you really have to know your tools before you're doing this. You don't want the dark mark. And so here are another set of pairs. And some of them I kind of think of them like sleepers. They are, they're looking good in amongst all the others, but actually, once they are separated, they really stand out. They're like, wow, better than before. And here, so this is the one that I was looking at that I really like. The 2 goddesses, my fave, the goddess of the city with the city wall on her head. It's kind of like a crown. It's quite beautiful. And this is the contemporary figure, and a very misty goddess. It's more of a contemplative pose or position there. I didn't realize when I selected this figure how much I would like using it as kind of a counterpoint. And here I used the image twice of the goddess, and again the thinking man. Oh, and I love these. I love this gal. initially I was like, oh, that's kind of a clunky image. Well, this one is too. They're both old, very old, from the Metropolitan Museum of Art's uh, image archive. And if you have one figure, you know, you've got something in stillness. Did I do this right? But when you have two figures, you absolutely have a conversation. You have a dialogue. And then, you know, your mind makes up the conversation. So this is an old silhouette of an old image, an old. They're all sculptures, I think, and of course the traditional Venus. And here are two little goddesses chatting it up. It could be the village square. It could be that the misty background of, and with the, you know, the village area where conversations are held. I mean, I'm making that up, but that's the fun. That is the fun. I was going to say I get the wrong side, but that was the right side. I just didn't apply enough pressure. All right. Ooh. I was going to say two of my favorites, but you know what? They're all my favorites. Now, this gal. Okay, so this one, I mean, they all more or less, I'm just going to come over here as well, have this coloration and have, you know, the two figures on the same plane, so they're like talking to each other. And then I had one, this is still a goddess, the bust with a great hairdo. It's a fabulous goddess bust. Well, I can't say goddess. It might have been a person, you know, you know, you know, the Greek and Roman sculptures. I mean, they did a lot. They had some wonderful, important people, but also they had, well, I suppose in order to afford the, you know, the work, unless it was the sculptor's daughter or an, you know, an idealization of beauty. I think that was also in effect. But and then, you know, I used a darker color, which I don't usually do, although I do sometimes. I have a lot of paintings where I have kind of blocked out some of the color with the darker paint, and but just the variations on here I really love, and I didn't like it amongst the other images. So this is one of 8, and when, you know, when juxtaposed, it was just like it was just the odd one out. You know, this was the one that didn't fit with the rest of them. Of course, I love that too. A lot of people I know are just like that. Sometimes myself included, I think. So, so it's very nice now that I have these, and I'm just going to put them in my drawer of drawings. And now, actually, I am going to do the same to these. Now, these are different again. Well, the color is different. But I decided that I was going to finish them. I mean, just be finished with them. It's my decision. And this is paper that was painted on originally. Oops. So what's underneath the tape is also, it's not just the white of the paper as it was in the one I just took apart. You could see the white lines. So on these, the paint, it goes right down, connecting to the areas below. And there we go. That was nice. I got it all off on one pass. I think there was a little tear there, but not too badly. Let me move things, actually, now that I'm going to be working on this side. I like the way the camera captures that angle. Now, this is going to be tricky, although I can always get back on the stool here and make sure I've got a good angle. It's a tricky angle, but it's kind of fun to have a view from above. Oops. I can never get everything in, but I get most of it in there. Certainly the centerpieces. This is a little bit precarious, so it's a little wobbly, so I don't know if it's going to actually be of use. Something very soothing, rhythmical, the pulling of the tape, the sound of the tape pulling. I was thinking of just doing a video of studio sounds, you know, staple guns, tape pulling, squeegees, squeegeeing, scraping against the, you know, the paper on the boards, on the walls. Tea being poured. And yeah, the sound of the plastic under the tape that's being pulled off. I mean, this doesn't get anybody too excited, but it's like a walk in the forest, don't you think? I mean, all these sounds. Oh, it's so funny because I have an alarm clock that is broken, and but it was a kind of a sound like wake up to the birds or wake up to other sounds, but I used it for the bird sounds. Thank goodness it was stuck on the bird sounds, because it only does one thing now. At noon, it chirps at noon, and it's really quite realistic. So every day at noon, I hear these birds, and it's like there's a few seconds where I'm like, what's going on here? Shouldn't they be, you know, staying warm in the trees somewhere? Why am I hearing these birds? So another studio sound for the listening pleasure. This tape is something. It reminds me of radio shows that would have the sound effects, department. Uh, and you'd hear the car crashes and the sounds of this and sirens and that. Okay, so we're getting a little out of the initial concept, which was studio sounds, like a babbling brook. I could literally fall asleep to these. I mean, it would just put me into like that, a warm, fuzzy space. Yeah, even the sounds of a stapler. So I guess it just depends on, the individual, something for everyone. All right, now I know I have one more to take off, but it's way at the corner there, the far end. So let me just let these staples get loosened. All right. Well, it was small but made a powerful noise. And oops, I got the wrong pair of pliers. So I used to just, take the staples and let them drop. But I do two things now. I put my finger under the staple or beside the staple. And that's so if the paper comes up with it, the paper does not tear. And I learned from mistakes, from a lot of mistakes, or a lot of paper tearing, to do that. Wow. And I got them all. So again, this is kind of a hot mess. There's a big, oh, it's one of the circles in the center. I like that. But it doesn't do anything for the whole piece. But individually, kind of see that as I turn it over. And so the edge that I'm looking for, oh, this is going to be a little bit trickier because I don't have a good indication of where the edge is, but that just means it doesn't really matter. Do I have, oh, you know what I have? I have a tiny little pencil mark. All right. So let's get this straight. So there's 3 or 4 of these in the center that are really not going to look as well. All in a group as they do individually. And already they're starting to look better. So they were always looking good. It's just that they do get lost in the crowd. I like this. This is another face, but it's a contemporary face image. Yeah. Make sure I'm on the edge here. Yes. I did some line drawing on here too. With pencil. Oops, I actually made a little deviation there. I should be able to correct it though. Oops. There we go. Keep my hand down there so that it goes on the right path. Yes. And the twosies. I'm very curious to see this one separated from its family. Now, I've been looking at these and thinking I might do something else, maybe with markers or a pencil. I'm not just sure. I have to wait and see how they look individually. Yeah, I mean, already I can see that when I see them individually, they seem more complete to me, so I'm not sure. Another thing, you can see me like rubbing my hands over this. There's some very, very soft graphite. So I do run the risk of just smudging it, but actually I like the smudge, so it's not a problem for me. So these, I mean, it's just amazing to me. I don't know if you can see it or if you see the same things that I do, but individually, we've got the two figures. This is a face. Lovely. Love it. And again, our two goddesses. A little bit of a missing arm there, which I absolutely do not mind. No, no disrespect to the figure. And yeah, this one really comes to life. Separate. This seemed a little bit moodier than than the rest, and now that it's isolated, it's pretty much my favorite at the moment. And there's 4 more to go. It's like Christmas every day in the studio. All right. This is looking good. That's straight. Whoa, okay, I went too fast. Just a little hair's worth of a nick on the edge, and so that means that there's a little extra on the edge, but it matches the other side, and it's pretty much in the center, so I think it's just gonna blend in quite nicely. So there are the twos and twos. This will be interesting. I love this silhouette, and I'm curious how this turns out too. It's kind of the eye of the storm. That's where the concentration of the color and the vortex. Oh, nice. See, I couldn't plan this, really. To remember A, to breathe, and B, to slow down. All right, here we are. Look at that. He's just sitting on that swirl of color and motion. That's the other thing I like about these, as static as the sculptures are, I mean, or just the silhouettes, there's just a lot of motion. And look at the goddess, oh, she's got a little kind of crotch area there. It's very interesting. I don't know how that happened, but and her head is gone. It's a statue with no head, no arms, no legs. Female statue. A lot of them, the male statues, there's plenty of those too. I don't know what they did. They used to just knock off their heads and their arms fell off or something. But I just love the way it kind of like moves up there. You see that? It just kind of, so this is the thighs and then the torso, the bottom part of the torso. The arms would be there, but she just keeps on going. And he is kind of just a silhouette. Okay. Last but not least, because I'm excited about both of these actually. And yeah, as I thought, that little nick, and really it's minor, it's absolutely nothing. It's right in the top corner or bottom corner. So it is, just going to take a little more of it off there. So it's a non-issue. Look at that. Something nice about this, all this white space. And last but not least, yes, both goddesses have a lot of just the white, just the negative space, except for her little head, which is fuchsia. Oh gosh. Well, that was almost too much fun. And I'm done. I'm done for today. Nice set of paintings, these small paintings. I really love them. I call them my gems. So I'm so happy that you are joining me today and maybe other days too. I'll take you through my day-to-day as an artist, and I look forward to seeing you on the next tape. Thanks for being here.